Hello all, welcome to NET JRF Scholars YouTube channel. As we all know, NET exam going to be start from June 22nd. So in the last 10 days, it is very important to revise the important topics from all the papers, like all the units of the two papers. So, but as you know, the syllabus is very huge. So being it's a more important time, we need to spend our time on the most important topics. So in the last 10 days, I am going to list down the all important topics from the 10 different units of paper 1. As part of this series, today we are going to look at teaching aptitude. So just look at the list of the topics and I'll say what you need to focus. So if you have your notes, just open your notes and look at the topic and read it once or twice. So it will be really helpful because these are the topics where there should be like 3 to 4 questions definitely from these topics in the examination. So make sure you revise these topics. And if you don't have your notes, so list down these topics and by searching into the Google or using any AI chatbot, you wrote the definitions in a A4 sheet. So it will become easy for you to revise at the like before the examination. So we'll first move to the topics. So as we know, the levels of teaching is very important. There are 4 levels of teaching. So with respect to this, here we need to focus on who proposed. Okay, who are the persons proposed these models and who plays active role, who plays passive role, whether it is teacher centered or student centered. Okay, basically these are the 3 levels of teaching, and this is let's say like children, like the from the birth to 2 years of age, like how children understand the world through the senses. Okay, that is what autonomous uh, development system. I'll tell like the memory level proposed by Herbert. Okay, the understanding level by Morrison. Okay, reflexive level by Hunt, and this is by Morris. Okay, so this how. So with respect to the levels of teaching, you need to focus on who proposed active role, who is active role, who is passive role, whether it is thoughtful, thoughtless, or like. So these are the aspects you need to focus on. Okay, and these are the methods of teaching. These are levels of teaching, and these are the methods of teaching. So what is lecture method? What is demonstrative method? What is the difference between inductive, and deductive method? So, and there are a lot of other methods. Team teaching method, where group of people teach, and use of TV and the video method to learn something. Group discussion to learn. Seminar where an expert come and teach you about a particular topic. Panel discussion, group of experts discuss on one particular topic. Project work, where a question or the task is given by the students, and at the end they have to submit the report on the project work. Brainstorming, where they have given a problem or a question, so the student has to uh, give the solutions or the answers for this question, as many as possible in a hour, like with a particular duration. Then we have role playing. So to learn some topics, you have to play certain roles so that it become easy for you what is happening in that context. And next we have stimulation. As we all know, we have played many stimulation games. So what is stimulation in as part of method of teaching? So how do you learn? Let's say in space experiments, astronauts are used to exposed to space environment. Okay, so they are trained in those conditions. Tutorial, these are basically their instructions provided okay, to perform a task, assignment. So students are given a particular work, so they have to do their own research and submit a report. So that is called assignment, case study. So how do we understand the situation or the context by looking at the case studies? Programmed instructions is like it's like use of by it is by using systems or computers. Okay, so based on your answers, so the instructions are given to the candidates. That is called as program instructions. And computer assisted, we learn things with the help of computer. That is computer assisted. And what is open learning? There is no teacher or children relations, which explore and study from the open sources. Okay, and heuristic method. Okay, it is proposed by Armstrong. It is very, very important. It has been asked multiple times in the examination. Okay, and so like self, he studied by himself. Okay, yeah, he has given problem and he has to study by himself to find out the answer. And we have differential instructions because in a classroom setting we have different people, different levels of knowledge. So how the instruction should not be same across the classroom, right? So if the instructions are given different to the different groups of people, that is what is known as differential instructions. And we have evaluation systems. Okay, there are four evaluation systems. We know formative, that is to assess the knowledge between the course, and at the end of the course, at the end, whether to know objectives are achieved or not. Okay, we know what is placement. It is like an entrance examination. Okay, so what is the current knowledge? So based on the knowledge, whether he has to get out of a one particular college or a course. That is placement diagnostic. What are the flaws or what are the problems with the student? So to diagnose the problems with respect to the learning. Okay, these are the four evaluation systems, and we have Bloom's taxonomy. So there are three domains. Okay, cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain is related to head, whereas affective domain is related to heart, and the psychomotor domain is related to heart. There is one quote that I can have. The aim, do you like? The aim of Indian education is to develop three heads. So that is head, heart, and hand. Okay, it is given by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, please do remember, it's already asked multiple times in the examination. And so what is the highest domain in the Bloom's taxonomy? So it is nothing but psychomotor domain. What is the lowest domain? It is cognitive domain. So, uh, so how you have achieved these? It is the process. These are the steps to achieve the cognition. Okay, that is here case knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So even in each domain there are higher level, high, and low. So in the first case it is knowledge. In the second case it is in the first case it is higher level is knowledge. Sorry, lower level is knowledge, higher level is evaluation, and lower level is knowledge. And the same thing, higher level is uh, conceptualization. Here the higher level is naturalization. Okay, here is the observation and imitation, and here is the receiving. Okay, what are the high levels and the low levels? Okay, what is the high domain and the low domain? You need to remember this. These are very important. And these are the five types of tests. As I said, diagnostic test, the problem of problem with learning. Okay, and prognostic, it is similar to the diagnostic test, but for future outcomes. Okay, aptitude test to test the knowledge, achievement, whether objectives reached or not, to check the complete objective. Proficiency, it is for general domain knowledge. Okay, these are the 5 tests. Please read. These are also important. They used to give you matching. Okay, like A, B, they give the test names and they'll give the description. So these are very important. And we have Pagets theory of cognitive development. There are 4 stages: Sens- sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. So this is the order. So remember this order. They might ask you to arrange in a order without this birth years, or else they can give in this format as well. So read them thoroughly. These are very important. Okay. And next we have academic meetings. So here we need to focus on like how many speakers, duration, hands-on experience. So these are the 3 important because how many speakers in each of these academic meetings are possible, and duration. Like let's say the conference goes maybe 3 or to 7 days, but the seminar only to offer one day. So workshop gives more hands-on experience. So arrange these based on these 3 parameters. So most of the questions with respect to these 3 parameters only. And this is the evaluation method. So criteria based and the norm based. So criteria based basically is there's a fixed reference. So let's say 100 marks, we're going to get 95 marks and 95 percentage. So everyone for it is only 100. Whereas in norm based evaluation, you will get the percentage. Earlier, like when there are multiple sessions for one subject, they used to give in the percentile. Okay, especially for Hindi, economy, English, etc. So it is comparison among the students. The norm reference is the comparison among the students. It is with the standard objectives or standard reference. Okay, that is the major difference. Criteria, there is some criteria for the evaluation. Norm is the comparison among the students. So that's why they are used to give the percentile. Okay, percentile. Whereas in the criteria, they'll give the percentage. That is the major difference. So please read them because they tend to change the definitions and ask statement 1 true, statement 2 true. Okay. And other important topics are about the smart classroom. So as we know, smart means electronic devices. So use of electronic devices in the classroom. Okay, read about the smart classroom and the teaching aids. What are the different audio teaching aids, visual teaching aids, audio visual teaching aids? Have a look at it. And we have 2 types of questions, right? We have 2 types of questions. That is subjective and objective questions. So in objective, we have multiple types, like fill in the blanks, match the following, multiple choice, true or false. So the objectivity of fill in the blanks is less than the match the following, and the objectivity of match the following is less than the multiple choice, and the objectivity of multiple choice is less than the true or false questions. Okay, and there is a one article learning the treasure within. It is by UNESCO. Just note the definition or what is like question or scope of the paper. Just remember the scope of the paper. That is more than important. It is released. It is published by UNESCO. Okay, and what is reflective teaching? Because the self the self reflection of the teacher, okay, of is her lecture is okay, how it helpful. So these are the things that may ask. Remember, like one thing, whenever they asked about any question about any like teaching skills, reflective teaching, student behavior, teachers behavior, good teacher, good teacher, bad teacher. So you just place in the situation the question that they ask and answer the question. So it's become easy for you and you will definitely get the correct answer. And also look at the blended classroom. It is the like they are in mostly followed in the current scenario. They are very very important, and they are 3 times flipped face to face and enriched visual. Please have a look at these types of blended learning. It is very important. And next is the cone of experiment by Edgar Dale. So here, like whatever you read, you will only remember 10% of it. Whatever you hear, you remember 20% of it. What we see, we remember 30% of it. What we see and hear. So sometimes they used to ask this percentage, okay, by asking this. Mostly they'll ask in like matching, okay. This how they'll ask with respect to cone of experiment. And here the important thing is Edgar Dale. You need to remember this name and try to understand what is pedagogy, what is andragogy, and pedagogy. We all familiar with pedagogy and andragogy, and also read about pedagogy. It is very important. And teachers' behavior. Okay, what is dialogue teaching? It's like an interaction between student and teacher to learn about something. And episodic assignment. It's not about. It is different from norm or criteria based evaluation. It's like a evaluating based on the evaluating the student performance with respect to the student's previous performances. That is what episodic assessment. And they'll ask about the application of who is good teacher, who is smart student, or who is a better student. So they'll give the statements. We need to find out what is the characteristics, the behaviors of the good teacher and the smart student. So this is for today's lecture. These 25 approximately are important, okay, very very important. So at least there are 20 sessions in the exam. In each exam paper there are 5 questions. So out of 100 questions there will be 60 50 to 60 questions from this topic. So there is choice of 3 to 4 questions in a paper. So please note these topics and read from your notes, or else if you don't have your prepared notes, just search these terms and write the definitions in a separate A4 sheet paper. And next we are going to come with research aptitude important topics. Okay, please do subscribe to Net JRF Scholars YouTube channel. Thank you.